People think that the big moments in life announce themselves with trumpets and fireworks. They think when change comes, it's gonna roar in like thunder, shaking the earth under your feet. But I'm here to tell you that's not how it goes. Nah. See, the biggest shifts, the most powerful moves, they come when everything's quiet. That silence, that's the calm before the storm, and you'd better respect it. It's deceptive, that quiet. Feels like nothing's happening, like the world's on pause. Folks look around and say, hey, it's all the same as yesterday. But let me tell you, beneath that still surface, forces are moving. Conversations are happening that you can't hear. Plans are unfolding in places you can't see. People are positioning themselves and the game is changing before your eyes, even if it looks like the same old sky above your head. The calm before the storm is that hush in the air that makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up, even though you can't explain why. It's that eerie stillness where the birds stop singing, the wind stops blowing, and your instincts start whispering that something big is about to drop. You ever been outside right before a heavy rain hits, how the leaves go still, the smell of ozone in the air? The sky turns that deep gray, but not a drop has fallen yet. That's the calm I'm talking about. It's not the storm you gotta fear, it's that quiet right before. Because that quiet can lull you into believing you got time, that you can chill, that you can wait and see. But life don't work like that, because when the storm finally comes, it comes fast, it comes hard, and if you've been sleeping during the calm, you're gonna be swept away in the flood. See, right now, before the 18th of July, we're in one of those quiet moments. You might not feel it. You might think it's business as usual, same faces, same routines, same news on your feed, but I'm telling you there's a rumble under the ground. Movements are brewing, money's shifting, minds are changing, technology's advancing at a pace that would make your head spin if you could see behind the curtain. People you ain't never heard of are about to step into the spotlight and shake up the game. Ideas that sound crazy today will be mainstream in a few weeks. Whole industries are about to pivot. And here's the dangerous thing about the calm before the storm. It makes folks complacent. Makes them believe they got more time than they do, makes them comfortable, and comfort is a beautiful, deadly thing. It wraps around you like a warm blanket and whispers in your ear, don't worry about it. Tomorrow's another day, next week you'll figure it out. Meanwhile, people who understand the storm is coming, they're stacking their chips, they're learning. They're moving in silence, they're getting lean and nimble, ready to pivot when the winds shift, because they know the storm ain't a thing to fear, it's a thing to ride. I've seen it happen over and over. Folks caught off guard, blindsided because they mistook the quiet for safety. They thought they could wait until the headlines screamed about the change, but by the time the news tells you what's happening, it's already happened. By the time everybody else sees the storm, the smart ones are already on the other side, standing there dry and victorious, while the rest are scrambling in the rain. This calm right now, it's precious. It's your chance to prepare. It's your chance to look deeper, ask questions, sharpen your tools. This is the moment to listen closer than you ever have, because the calm is speaking to you if you know how to hear it. It's in the way people talk just a little differently about the future. It's in the subtle shifts in the market. It's in the technology that suddenly pops up in your feed that you've never heard of before. It's in the sudden hush in a conversation when somebody realizes they've said too much. That's the calm whispering, get ready. So while the world thinks everything's standing still, I'm telling you this is the moment that defines who's gonna come out on top when the storm hits. This is where the winners separate themselves from the watchers. Because when the winds start blowing and the rain starts falling, it's too late to build your shelter. Don't let the calm fool you, listen to it, prepare during it, because the storm, it's coming, and when it hits, only the prepared are gonna be standing tall. People keep saying they didn't see it coming, that it happened overnight, that it caught them by surprise. But I don't buy that, not one bit, because the signs were always there, clear as day. Problem is most folks don't pay attention. They're looking, but they ain't seeing. They're hearing, but they ain't listening, and that's why they miss it. That's why the opportunity passes right by 'em and hits somebody else in the chest. You ever notice how the ones who always seem to get lucky are the same ones who stay watching? Who stay reading the patterns, who stay 2 steps ahead because they never assume the surface tells the whole story. They pay attention to the details, to the rhythm beneath the noise, and that's the difference right there, awareness. See, the universe, the world, life, it don't move randomly. It leaves a trail, subtle shifts, little breadcrumbs. Quiet tremors before the quake. It's not about being psychic. It's about being present, being aware. Being sharp enough to catch the signals before they become headlines, because by the time the rest of the world catches on, it's already too late. The signs are in the way people speak, in the things they stop talking about. They're in the mood of the room when certain subjects come up. They're in the hesitation in someone's voice when you ask the right question. And let me tell you, when something big is about to go down, everything starts acting different. Not loud, not obvious, different. And if you're paying attention, you feel it in your bones before anyone says a word. Right now, before the 18th of July, those signs, they're everywhere, in the economy, in tech, in politics. In the conversations on the street, people are moving differently, money's flowing in strange directions. Companies are making cuts, shifting focus, rebranding overnight. Influencers are dropping one niche and jumping to another. Investors are whispering about things they won't put on paper yet. That's not random, that's movement. That's a signal, and those who see the signs, they don't panic, they don't stall, they position quietly, carefully, because they know what's coming and they know how to meet it. But you gotta train yourself to recognize those signs. Because if you're only looking for big flashing arrows and sirens, you've already lost the moment. Let me put it like this. If you walk into a room and everybody suddenly goes silent, that's a sign. If the stock market dips, then rebounds a little too fast, that's a sign. If somebody you know who's always reckless suddenly goes quiet and calculated, that's a sign. When the weather shifts but there's no wind yet, that's a sign, but only if you're awake enough to feel it. Most people miss it because they're too distracted, too busy reacting instead of observing, scrolling instead of studying, consuming instead of reflecting. Life is trying to tell them something, but they're too busy listening to noise instead of signal. And that's why they end up shocked every time something changes, because they never saw it coming, even though it was right in front of them. You gotta learn how to lean in, how to sense the weight of a moment, how to read the energy of a room, how to notice when something that was everywhere suddenly vanishes, and no one's talking about it anymore. Silence is a sign, absence is a sign, speed is a sign, stillness is a sign. The universe doesn't lie, but it speaks in patterns. If you miss the patterns, you miss the move. People will call you paranoid for paying attention. That's fine. Let them sleep. Let them call you obsessed. Because when the shift happens, when the storm finally hits, they'll be asking how you saw it coming. They'll call it luck. But you'll know better. You'll know you watched the wind, read the ground, listened between the lines. This ain't about fear. This is about intelligence, strategic awareness. It's about understanding that this world doesn't turn by chance. There are always signs, always clues, always whispers of what's next. And right now, they're louder than usual. Right now, everything is pulsing with quiet movement. Right now, the energy is off just enough to tell you something's about to break open. And you can choose to keep scrolling past it, ignoring the gut feeling, pretending it's business as usual, or you can open your eyes. Tune in, adjust your focus, and start paying attention to what life is trying to tell you, because the signs are not hiding. They're waiting, and they don't wait forever. Everybody wants the opportunity. Everybody wants the big break. Everybody talks about success like it's a lottery ticket, like if they just wait long enough, their number's gonna get called. But opportunity doesn't wait around. It doesn't ring the doorbell and hand you a second chance if you miss the first one. Opportunity doesn't care if you're tired, if you're distracted, or if you're scared. It moves when it moves, and if you're not ready when it arrives, it'll pass you by and never look back. That's why preparation is everything. See, most people don't fail because they weren't talented. They fail because when the moment showed up, they weren't ready to meet it. It's not about the opportunity, it's about the level of readiness you bring to the table. If a door opens and you're standing there empty-handed, no plan, no mindset, no focus, that's not an opportunity lost. That's a moment wasted, and those don't come around twice. So while everybody else is waiting for the signal, waiting for the right time, waiting for things to calm down, the real ones, they're preparing quietly, daily. They're not loud about it. They're not showing off. They're sharpening their tools. They're training their mind. They're building capacity for the very thing they prayed for. Because they know that when the moment comes, it's gonna happen fast, and they won't have time to get ready. They'll have to be ready. This season right now, the one you're in before July 18, this is not a season to relax. This is not a season to coast. This is the season to lock in, to take a hard look at who you are, where you're at, and what you're carrying. Because what's coming, it's gonna require the best version of you, not the wishful version, not the potential version. The disciplined version, the focused version, the version of you who didn't just dream, but trained. Readiness doesn't just happen, it's built, it's earned in silence, it's forged when no one is watching. You prepare when it's boring, you prepare when it's inconvenient, you prepare when there's no applause, no credit, no immediate reward. Because preparation is about becoming the kind of person who can carry the weight of the next level without crumbling under it. You want to lead, prepare your heart to serve. You want to win, prepare your mind to handle failure. You want to build wealth, prepare your discipline to handle droughts. You want visibility, prepare your character so the spotlight doesn't destroy you. You don't wait until you're in the fire to learn how to handle heat. You train before the flame ever touches you. The truth is, some people are gonna miss what's coming, not because they weren't worthy, but because they weren't ready. And I'm not talking about being perfect. I'm talking about being intentional, being willing to show up early. Stay late, sit with your thoughts, face your flaws, fix your systems, study your craft, practice your patience. You prepare by refusing to let comfort rob you of momentum, because when opportunity comes, it doesn't show up with a warning. It doesn't come dressed in gold. Sometimes it shows up looking like hard work. Sometimes it shows up looking like a risk. Sometimes it shows up disguised as a test, and only the prepared will recognize it for what it is. Let me tell you something real. You cannot rise to the level of your dreams. You rise to the level of your preparation. That's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. You won't become the thing you want just because you want it. You'll become it when you've done the work required to sustain it, and if you can't sustain it, you'll lose it. And losing something you weren't ready for hurts more than never having it at all. So this moment right here, this is your window before everything shifts, before the world wakes up to the next wave, while it still looks quiet on the surface. You've got time to prepare, but not forever. Use this space, use this calm, use this breath before the storm to do what needs to be done. Clean up your thinking, discipline your habits, rewire your routine, strengthen your resolve, tighten your circle. Protect your peace, develop your plan, because what's coming will expose who did the work and who didn't. Opportunity is coming, fast, it's not waiting, it's not stalling, and it's not slowing down for anybody. The only question is, when it shows up, will you be ready? Everybody talks about fear like it's some ghost hiding under the bed. Like it's a monster waiting to jump out and grab them the minute they try to do something different. But fear's not a monster. Fear's a mirror. It shows you where your limits are. It shows you what you care about. And most importantly, it shows you exactly where you need to move, because the very thing you're scared of. 9 times out of 10, that's the thing that's holding your future hostage. That's the door you got a kick down if you want your life to look different. See, people think they're waiting for the perfect moment, the safe moment, the moment when all the lights turn green, the money's stacked up, the timing's right, and nobody's gonna judge them. But let me tell you, that moment ain't coming, not now, not ever. There's no perfect time, there's no perfect condition. There's only now. Fear wants you to wait. Fear wants you to stall. Fear whispers that you need more time, more proof, more confidence. But while you're waiting, life is moving. While you're hesitating, somebody else is stepping into the very spot that was meant for you. And then you sit there years later saying, "Man, that could have been me." Let me tell you something real. Fear is loudest right before you're about to break through. It screams in your head because it knows you're close, because it knows you're about to step outside the box it's kept you in for years. Fear doesn't show up when you're doing nothing. It shows up when you're on the edge of becoming something new. So you gotta train yourself to stop seeing fear as a red light. Start seeing it as a signal, a sign that you're headed in the right direction. Because if it wasn't important, if it didn't matter, fear wouldn't be fighting so hard to stop you. Action over fear, that's the code, because motion changes things. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be flashy. It just has to be forward. One small move, one brave call, one conversation you've been avoiding, one risk you've been calculating in your head for months. The mind will tell you all the reasons to stay still. It'll list out every way you could fail, how you'll look foolish, how it might not work. But the mind doesn't show you the cost of doing nothing, the cost of staying stuck, the cost of waking up in the same place 5 years from now, wondering why nothing changed. Fear protects comfort, and comfort is dangerous because it feels good while it quietly steals your life. Right now, before July 18, there's a window open, and it won't stay open forever. Something's shifting. The energy's different. New doors are swinging wide, but they're not gonna stay wide for people who refuse to step through. The people who win in moments like this aren't always the smartest. They're not always the most talented. They're the ones who move, the ones who look fear in the face and say, "I hear you, but I'm going anyway." You don't need to feel ready to take action. You don't need to feel brave. You just need to do it. The feeling comes later. Action creates courage, not the other way around. People wait for confidence before they move, but confidence is built by moving. That first step is gonna feel shaky. Your voice might tremble, your hands might sweat, your knees might feel weak. Good, that's how you know it matters. That's how you know you're alive, and that's how you know you're growing, because nothing changes until you move. No amount of reading, planning, or visualizing is gonna replace putting your foot on the ground and going forward. You can't think your way into a new season. You gotta walk into it. I've seen people sit on $1,000,000 ideas because they were scared. I've seen folks stay in jobs that killed their spirit because fear convinced them security was better than freedom. I've watched dreams die in people's eyes because they waited too long to move, and every single time they thought they'd have more time. But time is ruthless. Time don't wait. So if you're feeling that itch, that stirring, that nervous energy under your skin, that's your signal. That's life trying to pull you toward your next level. Don't bury it. Don't numb it out. Don't talk yourself out of it. Move even if it's messy, even if you don't have all the answers, even if you're scared out of your mind. Because fear is gonna be there either way. The difference is whether you let it cage you or whether you carry it with you as you step forward. There's no perfect moment coming. The time to move is now. Spoken with conviction, calm intensity, and a deliberate rhythm, building to a crescendo. So hear me when I say this, there's a big move coming. And before the 18th of July, things are gonna shift in ways most people can't even see yet. Some will be caught sleeping in the calm before the storm. Others will read the signs and stay ahead of the curve. Some will wish they'd prepared. Others will step into the moment ready and unshakable. Some will freeze in fear, waiting for the perfect conditions. Others will choose action right now while the door is open. Because the truth is, the future doesn't belong to the people who wait. It belongs to the people who watch, who work, who move. I'm telling you, storms reveal who's ready and who's not. Opportunities come and go, but they don't slow down for anybody. And right now, this moment you're standing in, it's your chance to decide which side of history you're gonna be on. Don't let fear talk you out of your destiny. Don't let comfort steal your future. Don't let this big move pass you by because you thought you had more time. This is your window, so stay sharp, stay hungry, stay ready, and when the moment comes, and it will move. Because greatness don't wait, and neither should you.